Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another perfume review video. My name is Naz. This is my channel, the King of Hidden Gems. I try to bring to your attention fragrances are usually very good value for money. They smell good. They're usually under the radar. Not many people talk about them. I think at least you should do your research, try them for yourself and see if they're any good to you. So in this video I have another introduction slash review for you, and this is the House of Lush. House of Lush is a cosmetic health product from United Kingdom. They've been around for more than 40 years. They started in west of England and they expanded quite quickly in every high street in United Kingdom. They are very well known and popular in United Kingdom. Their shops are very mesmerizingly smell of heaven and soaps and goodness and things like that. And when you pass their shop, even if you're the other side of the road, you cannot ignore them. They are just the smell of the shop is very loud, and you can smell it from yards away. So me and my wife got hooked on this shop many years ago. Between us, probably we have about 40 perfumes from them. In their database, they have more than 200 perfumes, but if you go to their website right now, you don't find more than 20 perfumes, which is still plenty enough, but they discontinue their fragrances on a regular basis, and this is one of the complaints against Lush. People love what they smell, they buy it, they get used to it, and then they can't find it because it's been discontinued. Sometimes they bring them back because of popular demand, sometimes they don't. So this particular one in front of me, it's called Lush V. I think V in here is for violet, and it's a 100 ml bottle. Is retails for £85. And right now they still have it in production, so if you're interested, before they discontinue it, go and get one. I'm not sure, I'm just guessing here, but they do that on a regular basis anyway. The other complaints against them, which is my complaint, is the quality of the bottle, the sprayer, and the things like that. The bottle itself is very thin, is very easily breakable. It is shattered, the glass shatters very easy. I probably broke about a couple of perfume bottle from Lush easily, you know, not even dropping them, just banging it to something else, and it's shattered, and the glass becomes very fine and very sharp and dangerous. So it's a big mess. So be careful how you handle their bottle, because they are very shall we say, very vulnerable. But apart from that, their perfumes are fantastic. They are amazing. They are artistic. They're unique. They are experimental. They push the envelope. They don't go for easy perfumes. They don't go for perfumes that are usually popular, and that gives them the edge. That gives them the risk factor. That gives them something that nobody else, or at least not many companies out there, do that. Don't forget, they're still a business. At the end of the day, they have to sell. But I like that about them, that they don't go with the norm. They just do what they like to do, and they don't care about the consequence. And that's why their perfumes are very popular, because they are on the unusual side, they are on daring side. Not all of them, but majority. They are on the artistic, unique side of things, which me and my wife both appreciate and love. So this one retails for £85, but you can find it on eBay in United Kingdom cheaper. In other part of the world, you need to do your research if you are interested and see if it comes up and how much it goes for. I think they ship globally. I'm not sure. You have to go and check them out, and if they do, how much they charge for a particular place you are in. So this one is came out in 1995, and the perfumer for it is my favorite perfumer from the House of Lush, and that is Constantine the Senior. Constantine the Senior is the founder of Lush products and the Lush logo and the Lush brand, and he was the first to start to experiment with making perfumes, and he started to making a few perfumes in the beginning, and this is one of them, and that's why I'm gravitating towards this, because his work is a little bit on the classical side of things, a little bit on the old school of perfumery, is old-fashioned to some extent, so that's why I'm gravitating toward his work, because I love them. There are other perfumers working with Lush. There are Constantine Jr., which is his son. There's Emma Dick, and there's a couple of other perfumers working with them. They're all good. They're all amazing. Don't get me wrong, but for me, for my taste, for my age, for my experience, I prefer his work. So this one in particular, it is a little bit on the daring side, little bit on the edgy side, little bit on the unusual side as well, which is again adds to that appeal, at least for me, for myself. Presentation wise, as always, as I said, simple packaging, but I don't mind simple packaging as long as it's a good quality. Very, very breakable and easily shattered glass, which I don't like, but I'm very, very careful with their bottles. I learned in a hard way. Imagine you buy a bottle for 70, 80, 90 pounds and then it shatters. It's a heartbreaking. Not just because of the money, but because you love the perfume as well. Anyway, especially if there has been discontinued and you can't get it anymore, or if you want to get one, it's very, very expensive. So be careful for how you handle the glass. Apart from that, it's not bad. It looks okay, very simple, nothing to brag about. The cap doesn't exist. The atomizer is old-fashioned, which I don't mind, but their atomizers are pathetic. They are very bad quality. Look at this. What is that? Anyway, it does the job. So every one spray of this probably is a quarter or half of, easily half of a normal spray, what you get in the normal world. And that's why when I say, for example, 10 sprayer, usually is 5 sprayer, because their perfumes are quite strong, quite thick, quite dense, quite long lasting. They don't mention the perfume's concentration, they just say perfume. But in my experience, they are between 20 to 30% perfume oil, which is quite high, and that's why it gives them their big personality, and also they are long lasting and very, very strong, and especially projection wise, they are very, very big. So this one in particular, in terms of longevity, is very good. On my skin goes easily over 8 hours. On t-shirt and materials goes easily over 10 hours, but be careful. As you can see, it's a very dark juice and it could stain your clothing, especially if it's a light and bright color. So I usually, if I'm wearing a dark t-shirt, I'll put it on material, and otherwise I'll put it just on the skin. So longevity is very good. It's almost beast mode, and in terms of projection, arm length of projection for around 2 to 3 hours, and after that slowly subside. We always have a good bubble, good cloud, and a good trail. Again, I'll go with 10 sprays of it, but usually 10 sprays of this, it's like 5 spray of normal sprayer, so I'm not putting that much, but still getting a good performance. In terms of who is it for, definitely mature. As I said, I'm a middle-aged man. By the way, all the perfumes are unisex, and they are the correct designation, because perfumes, scent, fragrances don't have gender. It's all marketing BS. Since 1920s, we've been conditioned to think perfumes have gender, but in reality they don't. Just imagine food, drink, color, music. All these things don't have gender. Music is music for everybody. Food is food for everybody. Taste is taste for everybody. People have different tastes, different, different choices, yes, but they don't have gender. So perfume is the same, okay? So just use your common sense. Anyway, so they are targeted unisex, and it's correct. This one is bang in the middle of 50-50. Anybody can wear it, ladies and men, no problem. In terms of yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, age wise is a mature one. I would say at least 25 years and older, if not 30 years and older. The reason is because the Constantine Senior, his perfumery is very classical. So this is definitely classical perfume in here. It reminds me of 60s and 70s perfumery, is that classical. For that I love it, because I love classical perfumes and classical genre of perfumery, and also old school perfumery. I think perfumery in general peaked in between 1960s and 1990s, and that's why I'm gravitating towards that era majority of the times. So again, mature definitely, unisex definitely. In terms of season, this is better suited for cooler weather, but because it's got some freshness to it, you can use it all year round. In summer, if it's a very high heat, it could be cloying, because it's got a sweetness in here as well, which is quite, in the high heat, could be cloying. And in terms of occasion, this is very opulent, so it's very good for going out, for evening, for a close encounter, for dating, for going to a dinner, to special ceremony like wedding, like birthdays and things like that. Very nicely done. It's very opulent. So let's get to the perfume itself. The perfume itself, this, as the name suggests, V, but which is for violet. This is dominated by violet flower, so you need to like your violet to enjoy this. And the violet in here is unapologetically loud and strong, and it's very powdery. So this is one of the most powderiest perfume in my collection. That's why wifey loves it, because she loves powdery perfumes. And also it's very floral in the same time, so it's big on the floral, which is violet mainly, and also Ylang-Ylang behind the violet as well. And the Ylang-Ylang in here giving it that tropical feel, that yellow banana feel to it as well, which is beautiful in here. It's a gorgeous Ylang-Ylang neutralized in here, but the violet is by far the biggest player. So the violet, as I said, is powdery, is a little bit creamy, is a little bit buttery, is definitely on the dusty side, and also is a little bit on the andolic side of things. How they manage that, I don't know, because it's got a tiny bit of andolic, tiny bit of animalicness in here. I think the majority of that andolic, majority of that animalicness, which is not a big player, it's a small player, but nevertheless is there, is coming from the spices, which is a combination of clove and cumin and cinnamon. So after violet, the biggest players are the spices. So the spices are clove, there's cumin, and there's a cinnamon in here, which combination of these three big spices making it a very deep spicy perfume, and it's a little bit on the dark side as well. Overall, I classify this fragrance as semi-fresh to semi-dark, and also I classify it as oriental floral spicy. So this is a floral spicy perfume. The base is very woody, and the woods are quite strong in here, and it's a little bit on the realistic side. It's like you're going to a wood or a forest, and you can smell the bed of the forest with the greenery of it. You can smell the trees, you can smell the leaves, you can smell the bushes, you can smell every aspect of that woods or that forest. And that's why it's a little bit on the green side, a little bit camphorous, a little bit on the herbaceous side, a little bit leafy, and that gives it a quite an outdoorsy feel. So the violet giving it a very floral feel, plus the powderiness, plus that a little bit of andolic, little bit of that what do you call it, the smoothness and the powderiness of this fragrance, and also the green aspect of it, which is quite big after the spices, giving it that outdoorsy woods and foresty feel to it as well. It is, as I said, is a semi-dark to semi-fresh to semi-dark, so it's got a little bit of darkness in here, but it's not super dark. It's not like say Encre Noire Lalique by Lalique, which is, I would always use as a benchmark, which is 10 in terms of darkness. Here we're getting 5 to 6, so it is moderately dark. It's not super dark, but it has got that darkness as well, little bit of earthiness, little bit of dustiness. beautiful, gorgeous fragrance, absolutely. But you need to like your violet, because violet is first and foremost, from beginning to end, always violet is the biggest player here, is always on top, always shining. Everything else, it sits behind and underneath violet and makes violet even bigger, even deeper, denser, thicker, and all these good things about violet. So if you like it, if you like violet, first and foremost, you love this. If you don't like violet, obviously this is not for you. And also, if you don't like powdery perfumes, this is not for you. If you don't like very herbaceous green perfume, this is not for you either, because this is very, very green and herbaceous and very woody in the same time. So in terms of note breakdown, the note breakdown according to Fragrantica is very simple. So they mentioning Ylang-Ylang, violet, cedar, and clove. Obviously this is a very minimalistic note breakdown. I'm smelling more stuff in here. Definitely I'm smelling cinnamon, or definitely I'm smelling some cumin, and also clove are big in here as well. The cedar, yes, cedar sandalwood combination in here, which is a beautiful base of woodiness to it, and the woods are quite realistic. Again, as I said, it's like a foresty, like a woodsy smell, outdoorsy smell to it. The violet by far is the biggest player from beginning to end, and underneath the violet sits the beautiful Ylang-Ylang, which is giving it that yellow banana feel to it as well, and a little bit of tropical feel to it. There is no fruity aspect to this fragrance. There is no citruses. There is nothing light and bright in here to give it a little bit of lift. So you need to like your dense and thick perfumes to enjoy it. Although the violet and Ylang-Ylang here are giving it a little bit of brightness, because they're not going to the super dark area. But again, overall, this is quite a dark fragrance from beginning to end. The other thing you need to notice that is very powdery, very dusty, and very camphorous, very leafy, very woody. So these things you need to like as well. So just to give you a very quick rundown for what to expect from this beautiful perfume from the house of Lush. Even for £85, this is a bargain. This is beautiful, very nicely smelled, very nicely done, very nicely put together. It smells great. Perfumery in here is top notch in terms of ingredients, top notch. Smells like £200 plus perfume. By the way, to some extent reminds me of Guerlain Insolence. So Guerlain Insolence and this one are very similar. My wife's got that perfume, and when I smelled it, it reminded me of that one, although they're not 1-to-1, they're not 100%, but very similar perfumery in here, and Insolence by Guerlain. So if you like your violet and you like it powdery, you like it a little bit dusty, you like it a little bit creamy, a little bit soft, and the violet in here is beautifully done, and plus the Ylang-Ylang behind it, even making it even deeper and denser. If you like it wood, very woody, with the woods in the base are very, very realistic woodiness to it, and very dense and thick woodiness to it, which is very realistic. The powderiness of it is one of the biggest player here. So this perfume from the beginning to the end always powdery, and you need to like your powderiness. The powderiness of this fragrance, it doesn't go to the realm of baby powder, but it's almost there. So it's a very powdery perfume. Yellow flower, which is basically that Ylang-Ylang, which is gorgeous Ylang-Ylang they're utilizing in here. It's very creamy, it's very little bit of brightness to it, but overall a little bit of banana, a little bit of that danky feel to it as well. Warm spiciness, which is coming from the clove, from cumin and cinnamon together, giving it a deep, dense, spicy feel, which is giving it a little bit of that darkness. And floral, which is mainly violet and Ylang-Ylang in here, and the sweetness coming. I'm not sure where is the sweetness coming from, because they're not mentioning any vanilla or tonka bean or fruitiness or anything like that, but definitely there is a sweetness to it, which is a little bit more than moderate. So the sweetness in here is not too sweet. It's a ample enough sweetness to go with everything else in this composition. There's a freshness on top, which is again smells to me like spicy fresh rather than fruity or citrus fresh. So it could be that the herbaceous notes in here giving it that beautiful freshness in the beginning overall. So if you like what I described, and you like Guerlain Insolence. Guerlain Insolence, the original one, you can't find them anymore. There is a new version which people saying is quite good, but they saying it's not as good as the original one. And that one is about £120 for the same amount of juice. So this one is cheaper, better, stronger, and don't get me wrong, Guerlain Insolence is a beautiful perfume. My wife has got the older version of it, which is beautiful fragrance, which very, very powdery violet, again is similar to this, but again they're not 1-to-1, they're not 100%. Okay, so don't go and get this one and say it's nothing to do with that one. So overall, beautiful perfume, highly recommended, absolutely gorgeous, but not everybody's cup of tea, because this is old school perfumery first and foremost. Second, because of the violet, is giving it a very, very powdery feel and very mature feel, very not an easy perfume overall, but it's not a difficult perfume either, but not everybody's cup of tea. So you need to know if you like this kind of perfume or not, otherwise it might be too much for you. Definitely on the mature side, I would say a person with more experience in life and been around perfumes for longer, you will appreciate this better than a youngster or somebody who likes only fresh fragrances. Okay guys, if you have it, if you know it, if you tried it, let us know your experience. That would be useful for others to read. If you like what I do, if you find it useful, informative, valuable, or entertaining, please don't forget to hit those buttons. This will help me, encourage me, motivate me to bring you perfumes like this in future that nobody else is talking about. Amazing value for money, they smell great, and they could be hidden gems. This beauty is definitely a hidden gem. If you are interested in purchasing one of my own perfumes and support me that way and get something very, very beautiful in return, you could do that. I'll leave them in the link. I'm the perfumer, I'm the artist, I'm the worker, I'm the creator. So they are true handmade perfumes just for you, like people in the United Kingdom. I put more than 60% pure perfume oils in my perfumes, which is unheard of. That gives them the huge personality, very big, very bold, very long lasting. They are like time capsules, they take you to different places, different time, and they are super beautiful, if I say myself. Also, other reviewers reviewed my perfumes. You can go and check them out if you are interested. Thank you very much as always for your love and support. So thank you very much for watching, and I see you later. Bye bye bye.